Right, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We are back for another match of the Champions Cup. This one, Racing 92 at home, taking on the Stormers. Now, the table in this group is extremely close. At the moment, Toulon and Glasgow, they have got off to great starts throughout their first matches. Harlequins, they are still possibly in a position where they could miss out. Same can be said about the Stormers, Sail Sharks, as well as Racing 92, but with Racing 92 absolutely stacking their side for this match, the Stormers are going to have to be on their A game, and if they aren't, there is a chance they could find themselves in 6th at the end of this round. But looking through at the starting lineup, first of all, for Racing 92 in the front row, Feliti Kaitu'u is there as the number 2, so quite a few international names you'll see throughout this Racing side. Will Rowlands of Wales in their number 4 jersey with the French international Romain Taufafanua slotting in as number 5. Hakshiva Diamani up against his old side in the number 8 jersey. Legaric and Owen Farrell will be the 19 combination. In the midfield, it is Darby Lancaster, the Australian, with Joshua Tuisova on his outside, who is just a ball of muscle and really hard to bring down. Stormers' defence going to have to be on their A game here. Spring out on the wing, with Vinaya Bossi out on the other, and then at number 15, it is Tristan Tedder. So that is the starting lineup for Racing 92, and like I said, it's a pretty strong-looking one, but overall not a bad side that the Stormers have selected. A few injury troubles have left them with some gaps, but in the front row, it is Satole Dweber and Nedeling Forshire. Selma Murat as the 4, and Ruben van Heerden slots in as a number 5. Evan Ruiz, we saw him return from injury last week, now finds himself situated in the starting lineup rather than off the bench. The 19 combination, this is a little bit different to what we've seen for the Stormers. In fact, you could say that about most of the back line, with the exception of the back 3, Ben Loader, Hudsonberg, and Clayton Blomekes as the 15 here. So no Warwick Land, no Marnie Libok, no Dan Duplessis. There are plenty of names that are missing for this side. So it's going to be a tough one. And like I said, if they're not careful, they could find themselves sitting, relying on Sail Sharks in that later game. I don't believe Sail have played as of yet. We'll just have a quick look. They actually, believe, have got their game tomorrow. Yes, they do, up against Toulon, so that will not be an easy game. So points differential, as well as just the bonus points that are available for this game, could be extremely crucial as well. We have got the hello from Spy Cookies. Welcome in. Hope you are doing extremely well. The Cheetahs 68 to 21 loss to Lyon proves you cannot train in those Dutch pot houses. Says Neville, Money Libok not playing because the Stormers have a better chance of winning. Says Neville, and I believe in my team that they will win. Says Bradley there. And you're still here. Happy days. I thought my Saturday was done after the Bulls game. Thank you, Hamish, for the commentary and commitment. It's much appreciated here in South African land. Says Robert. And also 24 points to 27. The score prediction in favour of the Stormers, says Spy Cookie. And yeah, it would certainly be a massive win on the road if they were able to get it done. That's exactly what they need to do. They need to come out here and beat a stacked Racing 92 side, I should say. There's an interesting Stormers backline. They can be dangerous. They can. They've got some great players scattered throughout this side. Jonathan Roach and Similani, pure pace in the midfield. But, yeah, it's whether or not they can handle just the amount of internationals. Now, I did say Darby Lancaster as the number 12. I did mean Dan as well. I just realised. I believe I said it was Darby alongside Joshua Tuisova. But, yeah, Dan Lancaster actually in that number 12 jersey today. And we aren't too far away from the kickoff of this match. I hope the defence is as good. Says another person here. We've seen some high-scoring games throughout this weekend of the Champions Cup. A lot of the games that we recently saw, we saw 32-25, 47-21, 34-31, 32, 33-26. So you could say the only game that had a massive margin between the two sides has to be that game between the Bulls and Stade Francais. Other than that, the teams have been separated by 26 points or so at most, which is still a large margin. We have got there, why are you looking rosy red on the face? Is the weather looking good down there? We We had a belter yesterday at 30 in Cape Town, says Tomo Hart. I'm not sure about Rosie. I feel like it's probably because I recently woke up, so maybe that's why. Maybe I was a chameleon changing colour in my sleep. I will go Stormers. Says Tomo there. And hi there, Kiwi lads. Go Stormers way here. And also evening Hamish and friends in the chat, says Zen. And how's it, Hamish? I'm back. Feel like tonight's going to be an uphill battle for the Stormers, but I believe they have what it takes to cause an upset. Yeah, like, that's the thing. The Stormers, they have potential. And I know it sounds weird that we're pretty much repeating that, but we don't know what to expect from them. Some of their games recently have been a little bit up and down, which has not been ideal. But they still have potential, which is exactly what they need in this game. They need to just go out there and play like their competition depends on it because, well, it does. If they don't get it right, they're going to end up in a position where they do get knocked out of this competition, and that would be brutal. I feel like they've done some good things throughout this Champions Cup. Just looking here at the recent fixtures. There we go. These are the recent games that these two sides have played. So we've seen some good stuff from Racing 92 at times, but they just haven't got over the line in those matches. And then you look at, the last game for the Stormers, it was perfect. They managed to get themselves a massive win, which was something that not many people did anticipate heading into that one. Of course, they thought that the Stormers would win that game, but not by the 40-point margin. That was definitely a big step up, and they did find that little bit more form. These are the next games as well. Leinster round the corner for the Stormers. That is not going to be an easy contest for their first game back in the URC. And then for Racing, they have got Castra in the top 14 competition. We have got there, who do you think is going to have an impact tonight in terms of the top three from each side, says Tomo Hart? Well, for the Racing 92 side, I would say we're going to see quite a bit of Romain Taufa-Whanua, the big man, in that number 5 jersey. I think Owen Farrell, whether people like him or hate him, he is going to have such a key role here for Racing 92, and then I would go Joshua Tuisova in that midfield on the outside, trying to make it hard for the Stormers. And then for the Stormers, I would say, even though this is his first start back, it's got to be Evan Roos. He has to go out there and really step up in this game. It's a tricky one in terms of that back line. I would say like Ben Loader, if he can get the ball enough. But whether or not they get it to him is possibly a different story. And Joseph Dweber needs to have a really big game here too. As Stormers gave Sale a hiding, says Spider-Mick. That is true. But if they're not careful here, they could be on the receiving end of a score very similar. They have to be competitive early. A Racing 22 versus Stormers 28. Anyone? Says another person. Someone else had a score relatively similar to that one earlier on. Munster and Leinster games were top class, says Joseph there. And thanks for waking up so early, bruv, says another person. Yeah, so we snuck 4 hours sleep in between the streams, so we didn't do too badly overall. These are two hard sides, and they were close. I think Stormers would not have beaten those two sides either. Those two I see as going to the finals. Here's Tomo Hart. I just see in the side making their way out of the tunnel. Big chance here. And Sup Hamish says, dry time down under. Welcome in, Amelia. Hope you are doing well. You are ready for what will be an exciting game of rugby. I do see Galfiku there. I believe he's currently on that injury list for Racing 92. And hi, Hamish. Glad you got some rest. Says Sakabula. And good evening, Stormers, says Jimbo there as well. We're going to see a little bit of a light show by the looks of it on the big screen before these two sides make their way out of the tunnel. It is always a different atmosphere when you do play in France. Still can't believe you don't drink coffee. Says Sakabula. Yeah, never really got into coffee drinking. Now we have got there. Let's go, says Spy Cookies. I'm glad to see my Lions won 60 points to 10 this morning, says Tritone Down Under. And also we have got the Hi Hamish. I'm back in the chat, long time no see. I see the Stormers have decided to give some young players some game time. I hope it's just to rest their big players and not small injury problems. I think it's a little bit of both. There have been quite a few injury concerns, as everyone knows, all throughout the Stormers camp. There's been a tough few weeks in that middle patch of the URC where it just seemed like they weren't even able to fully field a team at times. But they keep going. Anthony Woodthorpe, referee in charge of this one. What's worrying is a lot of these Stormers defensive players are being rested. Says Neville, I might be getting back into streaming this year. I needed to take a break last year from Super Rugby, given the Rebels situation. That is well and truly fair enough. But yeah, hopefully you do, if you do get back into it, you do enjoy it. Matia is out on the field for the Stormers in that 10 jersey rather than Marnie Libok. Did you watch the Bulls game? Cameron was a freak in that game. We certainly did. We covered it on the channel. We did the full commentary. And yeah, Cameron and Heineken having a great game throughout the, I was going to say 80 minutes, but he got taken off with like 10 to go for Nassim Kho, who actually did pretty well in the short amount of time as well. But Legata goes across, Racing 92 in position just inside of their 22, and they will look to start this game quick. Owen Farrell with the skip pass out to Joshua Tuisova. This will be the first experience for a few of these men up against Tuisova, as well as quite a few of the other international players scattered throughout Racing 92's side. That ball's gone backwards. That looked like in through the side for one of the Stormers players. They have been told to get out of it. I'll give Racing 92 a head start, say 3 points after that, well, you guessed. Says Spider Mick. Still available for a Racing 92. And looks like they will be deciding to clear this one towards the touchline. Legaric, it's a low skidding one, and it wasn't an awful kick in the end. It actually made a few meters. A little bit of indecision there from the Stormers. Running it back was Matia. The penalty advantage goes the way of the Stormers here. Do they decide to go for the 3, or do you go for the corner? Well, now many New Zealand locals are listening to the streaming. Just curious, we do get a few, not so much for the Champions Cup. It's normally only the regulars who come in for the Champions Cup, and then, they more so come for a chat rather than for the game. Went to a few games, including that famous draw game where Frank Lamani elbowed Josh Canham in the back of the head. I still remember seeing it when it happened and yelling to the ref, and my mate said it's nothing. I said, I saw Canham go down. Says try time down under. One time or 1 week, the A team in this cup plays well, and the next there's another person. Yeah, it's one of those competitions that you have to be very strategic in terms of what lineups you're putting out there. Definitely because either side of the Champions Cup rounds, you're straight back into your regular leagues. Like top 14 next week, we're going to see Castra up against Racing 92, and that is a home game, so Racing will really want to win it, seeing as that is the mindset in the top 14. Legaric, of course, playing in this game. Up against a little bit of unknown and Devolved Zuvanagi, I believe is the man's name. And we have got there, did you hear the rumours that Melbourne aren't getting any games in the next Rugby World Cup, which is BS? That is a bit of a shame if that is the case. Owen Farrell now going to be kicking this ball towards the touchline after the penalty was awarded for Racing. It was one of the biggest deal for a 22-year-old history. And also, True Tomo, Sexton and Russell have played 10 for them. And also, I believe Dan Carter has had that Racing kit on as well. Like, a lot of great players have been through Racing 92. Now, Evan Russ, the ball in hand, 3 minutes into the contest. Still in the all between these two sides, seeing as the Stormers did opt to try and get the 7. Oh, drop ball from Vinaya Habossi. It's gone backwards, though. And that was almost, that's not very clean at the moment from the Stormers. Couple fumbled balls. Now Clayton Lumikis trying to make his way through, but he is hit hard by Taufafanua as well as Kolinga. Now Similani moves it up to 40 metres out. And True Tomo, oh no, I read that one, didn't I? Hello, Hamish. Did you have a little rest? I did manage a little one, yep. And that will be our only one pretty much through to our live stream tomorrow with Sharks versus Toulouse. Sharks versus Bordeaux. They have a tough run at the moment, the Sharks, having Bordeaux and also Toulouse in their group. Aerial battle goes the way of Willie Engelbrecht, who kicks it on the inside. Ball grubbed behind, and maybe Lee Garrick just got there. So it will be the goal line dropout, but doing very nicely, the halfback. I think Similani was doing well to hold him back a little bit too, looking at that chase. It's late here in Cape Town, 10:05, which is 10:05, or 22:05, which is 10:05 p.m. There's Ruth there. Yeah, Legarech just does enough to be able to stop that one from being a try to the Stormers early. Goal line dropout goes down towards the halfway line now. Marcel Tennyson tackled well. Vanaka going off to this left-hand side. 22 metres out. Ruben van Heeren hit hard and low. It seems to be the tackling attempt, or at least the tackling technique at the moment of Racing. Try and really chop these big men down by their knees. Now back across. Blumekes gets it away to Sitoli. Someone is screaming attack. I have no idea who that was, but that one's going to be a cross kick straight into touch, or at least bouncing into touch now. Line out chance for Racing. Zohan Farrell playing for England. Has he been replaced? I believe he's retired from international rugby, Owen Farrell. Or at least he was taking a relatively long absence after the World Cup. So I'm not actually too sure if he's made his way back in. That was very close to a steal. Oh, I'll tell you what. Vinaya Bossi, he's had another handling error there, which has caused a 5-metre scrum in favour of the Stormers. It wasn't the cleanest one. He just wasn't quite able to bring it in there, Bossi. Under a lot of pressure early. Owen will play for the Lions. Here's Tomo. And we have got there once Farrell went to Bath, they lost their shape. Here's Jimbo. And yeah, like, there's still a side that can beat, I want to say, most of the teams in the French top 14, but when they have a bad game, it does go really bad for them. Hey, Hamish says, Andreas, welcome in. You are doing well. Currently 7 minutes in, and a great attacking opportunity here for the Stormers, only a few metres out from the line. Looks like there is an injury, though, for Salman Murat. Getting a bit of attention to the back of his neck, I believe. Which is not really what you want at this stage. We're just looking through. Oh, yeah, no, he tries to dive on Vinaya Bossi, but in the process, there was another Racing player jumping on the ball as well, and then Murat just kind of bent his neck backwards in an awkward fashion. Now we'll be ready to feed this ball in. A 17 kg advantage for Racing at scrum time, 921 compared to the 904, but that does not mean that the Stormers can't drive them backwards here. They have got great ability when it comes to scrum time, definitely when it's connecting in that front row. No Frans Malharba in the front row for this one. Evan Roos now breaking off to the short side, and it's a knock on from Hartzenberg, but they did have the penalty advantage. Is Salman Murat still on the field? He is indeed, yep. He has decided to continue playing through. And also, hi folks, 15:09 here in sunny Paradise, aka Bogota, Colombia. Go the Stormers. My partying day's long over. Birthdays turn into Thanksgiving. Says Sakabula, so just a lot of eating, I would assume. That means Sakabula. Right, they've decided to actually call for the 3 points here, the Stormers, rather than going risky and once again opting to go towards the corner. They have said 3 will do for now. Now, I assume for kicking-wise, we're going to see Yuri Matia as the man on the kicking team. Now, he has to get kicks over because or else then, of course, people give him a lot of stick. But big opportunity to add the 2 points, the 3 points, I should say. Oh, he's turned away early and it almost drifted away, but it does go over, making the score 3 points to 0 now. But that one just slowly kind of twisted a little bit. And I think maybe he was a bit too confident with it. And Mura is well manners and respect for our players, the Stormers, says Logan Roberts. And we have good there retired. I also teach English, says Neil Harvey in there for what he does in Colombia. Nicely taken by Clayton Blomakis inside of the Stormers 22 at the moment. How much can you broadcast from a stadium? Probably not. Mainly because I believe that kind of goes under the broadcast restrictions. You're not allowed to do, like, to certain extents, like you're allowed to do a vlog, you're allowed to do that sort of thing, but as soon as you try and do live commentary from the game, that once again can, in some regards, count as copyright infringement. I actually learnt about that at the cricket. Not from me doing it, but there was a guy who was trying to kind of give live updates to his friends, and he was pretty much told, like, no, you can't sit here and do what you're doing, because he was trying to show it as well. Now going off to the left-hand side. A bit of a spin there from Dan Lancaster. As Grant would say, in the match now, says Sebastian. Right, another advantage. This is going to be for off feet against Ruben van Heeren. Owen Farrell now into the midfield. Ball's loose, and they will go back for the infringement. Now, this is Morat Sealing. Doesn't belong with the box, says Sakabula. Hello, everyone. It's been a while, says Saita Canvas. Welcome back, mate. You have been keeping well. Stormers will win with a bonus point, says Logan Roberts. And honestly, they kind of need to. Because, they're kicking for the corner here. Racing 92. So if the Stormers win this game, right, they will move up to third. And it would be extremely hard for them to then drop down. Just because Sale would have to beat, I think they're playing, who did I say they were playing? They've got Toulon as their game. So if they were to beat Toulon by a massive margin, that would give them half a chance. They're just going to be knocked on by Racing. That'll be a frustrating one. So we're getting ready to roll this ball forward, and it just pops down. And the transfer, Feliti Kaitua was looking for it. I'm not even sure he got a fingertip to it by the time that one had gone down. But yeah, so if they're in the top four, that's the main thing for the Stormers, because that means they go through to the round of 16 of the Champions Cup. Whereas if they aren't in that top four and they're fifth, that means they go into the Challenge Cup, and they would join the Bulls in that competition. Damn, that sucks. I was thinking with the World Cup in Australia, it would be cool to do live coverage from the cities in Australia, says Tomo. And we have got there, keep them out, Stormers. I have ideas. I have no idea who's going to win here. Hamish, what is your feeling about this game? Well, I do think that we're going to see a competitive Stormers team. But I do also think that if Racing 92 find their rhythm, then they're extremely hard to beat. They haven't found it yet, though, so that is very beneficial for the Stormers side. Already 11 minutes in, and still have themselves the 3-point lead. It's something to also consider for South Africa. You have quite a big South African following, so maybe something to consider if there is an ROI. ROI, what does that stand for? Trying to think, and I can't think of it. Dan Carter, did you mention Dan Carter, Hamish? I certainly did, Ruth. Well spotted. Now, line out throw for Joseph Dweber. Looks like a 3-man line out or a 5? Okay, the Stormers were very slow setting there. A return on investment. There's Tomo. Yeah, I think it would be one of those ones. If I was to do anything in South Africa, it would be out of my own pocket, if that makes sense. Oh, beautiful run from Legaric. Ball on the inside. They're only going to be 10 metres out from the line now. Racing, I mentioned how they hadn't quite found their rhythm. Now it looks like they might not be a mile off. Talfa Fanua drops the ball off. Will Rowlands gets that little bit closer. Hakshiva Diamani up against his old side. He is greeted with 2 massive forwards pushing him back 5 metres. A Republic of Ireland, says Jimbo. Now around the side again. Attacking run from Diallo, the captain. Getting just that little bit closer, 5 metres out from the line, rush defence from Marcel Tennyson, and he was just a little bit too early. Now the advantage in favour of Racing. Owen Farrell thought about slinging it now instead. Drops off the short pass out wide to Vinaya Habosi. And the Fijian international will score it. A return on investment, says Neville. But yeah, I think if I was to do anything like that, it would definitely be that I just have to pay for the full situation. I don't think there would be a way of being able to make the money back, because just a flight over to South Africa is going to sting you at least a few grand at the moment from New Zealand. Maybe if you go somewhere else first and then fly to South Africa, you might be able to get away with slightly cheaper. But yeah, the flights alone will put the channel at a huge deficit. Exciting interplay, says cited there. Have vanilla cream biscuits with coffee. Now Vinaya Habosi has managed to score that first try. Legaric. Interesting. There he is, the man with the kicking tee, and he has missed it, sitting now 5 points to 3. But yeah, you've got Owen Farrell out there on the field, but Legaric is the man that they opt for to take the kicks. And Quinn scored yet, Sebastian. Biscuits and coffee. I won't say the last part. But yeah, of course, Harlequins versus Glasgow, another game that has taken place at the moment. A massive game, which is normally closely contested when those two sides go head-to-head. Normally some pretty entertaining tries scored along the way as well. I think all the South Africans on your channel should raise for you to come over so you can visit and produce the cool content you create. Says Tomo. I hope, one day I'm hoping to be able to go to South Africa. It's not in the near future, I don't think, because, if there was going to be a holiday rugby related in the relatively near future, it would have to be for that 2027 World Cup. But maybe after that, there's a little bit of a chance. Nicely handled at the back for Racing. Now, they've actually given them the 2 points on the scoreboard. But I'm sure that kick missed, but it must have snuck in the post, I guess. Yeah, I'm sure that went away to the side, but saying that, I am not great with the ice at the moment. And Faz did have an injury, and he wasn't kicking in the lead up to it, says Bill. So it's interesting that he opted to play, though, if he has got that injury. Just because I would think the Stormers will target him, and that's exactly what they've done. They've run towards that gap. They'll be trying to hide him a little bit. Farrell, nice quick hands. Vinaya Habosi forcing Hudson-Berg into touch. And a ginger cat's normally much bigger than other cats, says Sakabula. I think it just depends on the cat that you have. We had a ginger cat and he wasn't huge. He says URC. So chat URC and enjoy the game. I'll talk about cats. They are so cute, says Logan. Now line out throw here for Feliti Kaitu'u. Nicely taken. This time by Racing. And Legaric does look to clear the lines. That is a very good kick. Now, will be the line out for the Stormers around that halfway line. I remembering Billy in there as well, says Sebastian. He had a groin operation a couple months back, says Bill. You'll be interested to see how long they give him. Definitely if he does show, because that's the thing. Yes, the kicking motion would be the hardest on the groin, but even just sprinting, I would think, would cause a little bit of damage, even if it is just a bit of wear and tear. Vinaya Habosi, of course, scored the first try by Joshua Tuisova. Now getting his hands on the ball and bumping off one of the Stormers players. Little chip in behind, sits up, and Racing have got another one. There's some brilliant skill from Max Spring. And now, 2 tries in a row. Mentioned about it about 5 minutes ago. If you allow Racing to find their rhythm, they can really make you pay. And that is 2 quick fire tries. Vinaya scoring the first and Max scoring the other. So both of the wingers scoring the tries early. It was just a nice grubber in behind. Owen Farrell was celebrating that one before it was even scored. He was at the back, put the 2 fingers up and said, yep, that one's good. And Grant will be disappointed. They didn't end the game there, says Sebastian. He will be, because now they find themselves with a little bit of a deficit to make up. Now Ligeric again, ready to line up this kick. That one was very close as well, but they have said that that one's missed. I actually thought that was closer than the first one that went over. The meanest kid I know was M.A. Baker, says Spider Mick. I'm sure that's a reference to something, but I will be honest, I have no idea what reference it is. Great, you sound so sweet and caring, loving cats too, says Ruth. Now ready to kick this one off for the Stormers. They find themselves 12 points to 3 down. Hey Hamish, do you think this game will have an impact on the rice price in France? Probably not. Maybe if they win the Champions Cup though, we would see maybe some free rice given out. Who knows? Big shot coming in on Marcel Dennison. So far, I think Racing have actually been the more physical side, which is something you don't see too often up against a side like the Stormers. Now ball across to Willie Engelbrecht. Around the side, Evan Roos, and you just hear the contact. He's actually holding his face after that one. Might have taken a shot a little bit high. I kind of feel they playing on. Looks like fake grass. It does. It looks like the AstroTurf. Now collecting Lumikis. To about 30 out. Now kneeling Fouchier. And onto the ball straight away was Faliti Kai Tu'u, and he wins the penalty for Racing 92. And my brother has a cat called Miles, Posh, and a Stone Cold Killer. I thought Stone Cold Killer was the name of one of the cats for a start, but no, the nickname, well, the description, I guess you could say. It is 4G garbage. Says Bill, and it is AstroTurf. Yeah, we have got there. Cats are really good. It's stir fry, says Drape. That's an interesting comment for you to make for your very first comment of the day, Drape. So picking up from where you left off last week, it would seem. 20 minutes in at the moment. Still a 9-point difference with Racing. They want another one. Legaric with the no-look pass. Flicks it out the back door. And oh, that was going to be a massive shot from Willie Engelbrecht. Now, Legaric again goes back to Owen Farrell, who will put up the high kick. And nicely taken by Vinaya Bossi, who chucks it back onto his team's side with Lancaster. Chopped down at the kneecaps was the big man, Hakshivar Diamani, and the penalty goes the way of the Stormers. Iami and brought a dead seagull into the house. I murdered an airborne, according to the word on the street. That is impressive. Very impressive, in fact. Nicely done by Vinaya Habossi to be able to regather that ball and get it back on the side of Racing. Then a big shot coming in on Diamani. Joseph Dweber down at the moment with a bit of an injury by the looks of it, but getting help back up to his feet. What is women's rugby like in New Zealand? It seems like women's rugby is getting its American soccer moment and has become a popular movement for 2025. I think the World Cup also is going to help a little bit, but yeah, the only unfortunate thing about New Zealand for that World Cup is the fact that it's going to be all the games in the middle of the night, and that slightly puts some people off. But I do still think there'll be a few getting up to watch the games, hopefully anyway. I know I will be. Oh, yeah, Dweber's gone in with the pretty much, I don't want to say it's no arms, because he did manage to wrap the left, but he did hit his head really hard on the thigh of Diamani. So it does look like he's actually stayed down. I thought they were going to help him up before, but I think he's decided to sit for a little bit longer. Just find his bearings again. He's helped back up though. Oh, now that wasn't a good look there for Joseph Dweber. He actually ended up tripping over his own foot. Now, that could be the AstroTurf. Of course, it's a little bit different to run on, but it also could be because he's taken that big shot. I think he has to go off for an HIA. I think if he's going to have a little trip while he's getting back to his feet, like, you're better off not risking it. The referee's watching on closely. He's staying on. Wow. You don't often see a player trip on their own feet, almost end up falling over, and the ref go, oh, well, he'll be right. So, yeah, we'll see what happens here. But I think Dweber will be off at some stage for an HIA. Currently, position is 58% in favour of the Stormers. Quinn 7-0 up against the Glasgow Warriors, says Jimbo. Good start. Right, they have now made the change of Joseph Dweber. That should have been made in the first place. There's no way that those medics looked at Joseph Dweber and said, yep, he's going to be all right to continue. So I'm glad they did make that decision. Now Andre Hugafenta out there on the field for the Stormers, his first line-out throw of the day, and he gets it right with Ruben van Heerden. And now looking for a rolling maul again. Cat Leeuward and the Seagull with a French fry. Very strategic from the Cat. 5 metres out. Hugo Fenta gets a little bit of an extra push from Hartzenberg. Now around the side, Fenta scores the try. He's been on the field for maybe a minute, if he's lucky, and the super sub in some regards, or I guess you could say the super HIA sub, because we could actually see Dweber come back out, although it's not that likely, I don't think. At least we got one win. It looked like we're not winning this game. Go on the Stormers. Well, they just got themselves a try, so they're back in this contest. Getting that rolling maul moving very nicely. But yeah, Andre Hugo Fenta just backs himself to make it over the try line. In the end, does it easily. And Yuri Matia to add the extra 2. Try. Says Sebastian there. And that one has gone over. 23 minutes in, and the score is 12 points to 10. This game pretty close at the moment. And 14-0, come on. I thought you were saying about the try in this game, Seb, but another try for the Harlequins. Very impressive start for the Quins. It's going to be kicked off by Racing 92 into the Stormers 22, Clayton Blomekes. Taken down well. Now, Evan Ruiz tackled by Diamani, 2 men who were fighting for spots in the loose board trio. We did normally see Diamani slot into that number 7 jersey. That's a good chase coming in from the youngster Roach. Now going off to the right-hand side. Spring tackled. One of the 2 try scorers at the moment for Racing 92. Of course, bonus point tries for 4 or more tries is absolutely massive. This one too short. I'm not an ignorant idiot, says Sebastian. And Heineken was superb. Hamish Bulls are one-man demolition squad, says Ruth. Now Legaric going for a little chip in behind. Oh, that's an ugly one. Hitting hard into Blomekes. Picked up by Hartzenberg. Looking for that turnover here, but haven't quite been able to get it racing. 2 points in it, going to be a tight game. Yeah, it's absolutely flying by already. 25 minutes down in this contest. Kick towards touch from the Stormers. They do put it into touch. This one will be about 33 metres out. We do see the bench there. We see Joseph Dweber. We also see Duplessis. And how's it going? Says Barry Green. Like they're saying there, he got given an HIA, Joseph Dweber, but I think he's just not going to continue at all in this game. Beautiful offload from Habossi, finds Diamani. Now for Racing, most of the time when they get into the 22, they can be a real handful for opposition. Ligeric goes across again to the captain Doyalo. Manages to get the offload away. Farrell, Talfafanua, the big man. And Arge was just ridiculous for Leicester today. 2 tries, several offloads, and the most laughable one-handed line-out steal. Says Jimbo. However, I require caffeine injection, coffee or Coca-Cola. I would go coffee. just because Coca-Cola, you're giving yourself a lot of sugar, so you'll be bouncing off the walls. I sound like I'm a parent, but, it is kind of getting late. It's once again sounding like a parent. Whatever you like, Sebastian. That line-out steal was crazy. So here's Bill. Now back across to the left-hand side for Racing. Inside ball to Vinaya Habossi, who loves an offload and does manage to find one again. Close to the touchline. Tera, it's going to be stolen by Yuri Matia. A ball and vodka, Sebastian. Downfield from Lomekes. That ball's just going to keep on rolling. And that one's going to be kicked in a touch by Racing. Just a bit of an aerial battle going on between the two teams there. I would say that the Stormers were very close to winning the kicking battle, but then it's just a really good kick downfield from Racing that managed to clear their line. So besides water, what do you drink? Honestly, at the moment, not a huge amount, which is very boring, I will admit. But in terms of like maybe a lemonade every once in a while when I'm at the pub after cricket. Other than that, I'm just happy enough with water, which is very boring. Very healthy, says Suckabulla. Well, we've got a wedding to go to at the end of February, and I got pants to try and fit into. So that's the main goal at the moment. But now, line out throw, Andre Hugafenta again. Nicely taken by Ruben van Heeren. Taking run from Evan Roos. That's a good shot from Feliti Kaitu. Almost put in a spear tackle on it. And that's going to be nicely taken under the high ball from Ben Loader. Almost one of the first touches. Oh, they've called him Hartzenberg. Hartzenberg's out on this wing. He's about to get the ball if they do go wide. You haven't had one in a couple of months. But you can give a shout out to Fanta. That is true. Fanta is... I enjoy Fanta. Definitely a Fanta slushy. For some reason, that's also something that goes a long way towards me heart. Now off to the left again. Matia trying to go straight through. Around the side again. This is getting close. And Irish coffee in it. Not a bad idea. Now Ruben van Heeren. Tackled by Diallo. Evan Roos. He's had a lot of carries so far. Manages to get it away. Matia. Bit of a handling error. And it's actually helped get the momentum in the favour of the Stormers. Similani slammed to the turf. 10 metres out. Andre Hugo Fenta goes to Ruben van Heeren. Find themselves situated about 15 metres in from the touchline. And probably about 15 metres out from the try line at the moment as well for the away side. They take the lead. The first time in this game, Matia goes back across. This time, Hartzenberg can't get it away to Loader. Quins again, says Jimbo, and that is the penalty going the way of Racing 92. And cool drink. Arbiter wins slushy, I don't know why. Says Barry. Slushies can be very frustrating, although I will say one of the best slushies I have had was at the cricket a while ago. It was myself and Mum. We were watching Black Caps versus England. And it was like 30-something degrees on a very humid day where you're just getting cooked by the sun. And they had a slushy section of one of the food trucks. And that was absolutely great because it was also mango flavoured. So it was even better. Quins again, says Jimbo. Geez, they're really piling it on up against Glasgow at the moment, it would seem. Now, Feliti Kaitu. It's that ball in. Ligeric goes across to Vinaya Bossi. Rush defence from Andre Hugo Fenta, timing it to perfection and shutting down the move. Ligeric. Across to Diallo again. And pineapple juice. Says Spider Mick. Now, Dolpha Fanua, nice spin there and good hands. Legaric tries to round the back flick pass. Owen Farrell kicks it in behind. This is going to be a good foot race. Ball pops free. Clayton Blomakis gets round Farrell and gets the inside ball away to Finta then Tennyson. Now back into the pocket. It's the Yuri Matea. It's a decent kick with the pressure that he was under. As much as I hate Northern Hemisphere rugby, we've been forced to watch it just to support our African brothers. But like, that's the thing. I feel like depending on the team that you're watching, some sides in the north actually do play very similar to Southern Hemisphere sides. And hold the coffee and double the Irish. Now you're talking Bill, says Jimbo. Looks like another injury here. This time it's Marcel Tennyson, who is getting a little bit of medical attention. I mean, the Stormers have been plagued with injury all throughout this year. I make a Cuban coffee. Sprinkle some rum into the coffee. Right. Well, that'll keep you going. To be fair, at the moment, you've almost got something to celebrate the way that Harlequins are going up against Glasgow. We've got a bit of a stoppage here. Sounds like the time's about to be turned back on. Feliti Kaitu'u, 22 metres out from the line. The position has gone back in favour of Racing 92 now in terms of the position. Will Rowlands, the Welsh international, takes it at the front of the rolling maul. This is really well defended by the Stormers. The way that they kept on joining back up and stopping it from making metres. I think Racing need to get this ball out of there. And they've struggled and they've paid the price. Going to be a scrum now to the Stormers. But the way that they kept on joining that one, they just knew exactly where they needed to be. And hot chocolate sweet with some Kahlua cream liqueur is nice too. Right, they're just saying the construction of the maul for both sides has looked a little bit messy throughout the first while of this game. Now scrum feed. 2 tries for Racing, 1 try for the Stormers at this point. So still plenty of opportunity for bonus points. In this case, maybe for both sides. And that could be the difference between going through and missing out. That'll be the penalty now. On the way of the Stormers, I believe that is for scrummaging on an angle. Kolinga, I think it might have been. And speaking of cream, I often add coffee with Baileys. Right. I feel like there are a few probably interesting combos people have tried in terms of caffeinated beverages and alcohol. George used to drink vodka Red Bulls when he went on a night out, but then he found that he couldn't sleep afterwards because he was just on too much of a high. Definitely when he had like 4 of them. Oh, you have got their spicy, and a marula with milk, says Hooligan. They have now kicked their ball towards the touchline here, the Stormers. They'll be about on the halfway line. And stolen by Racing. Feliti Kaitu'u. Now going back across to the right-hand side. Tui Sova making himself a handful yet again. Hakshiva Diamani gets a pass on the outside. Some nice pace being shown by Max Spring. Just wasn't quite able to get it back enough. And now advantage in favour of the Stormers for a knock-on. There will be another one there. So we do go right back for that original scrum. I reckon my dog finishes my coffee every morning. I've been doing it since she was a pup and about 9 years old. It's just the last bit, says Sakabula. Is the stadium full, says Tyrone. I'll be honest, because the stands are so dark compared to the pitch, it's actually very hard to tell how full it is in places, but it does look full around the bottom part that I can see. Like, I think there's a few supporters in the stands by the looks of it. Now 5 minutes remaining in this first half. Stormers still down by 2, so I think they'll be more than happy if they can find a way of scoring again before this first 40 is up. I've just said there for Tuisova, there aren't too many things that he hasn't won sides from a World Cup. He has had quite the illustrious career, playing for a lot of sides all around the world. The free kick, it goes the way of Racing 92. Pre-engagement from the Stormers, fairly late game in France, despite it being this week, the weekend. Says Sebastian, yeah, that's true. A very late kickoff, I think 9 p.m. or 10 p.m. kickoff for this match. Legaric now goes short. Looked a little bit high from Nettling for Shear. Got to be careful when tackling round the chest. Now Legaric again with the piercing run round the side. He's looked really good throughout this game. Drinking his old school. I love abseiling down a 100-foot cliff. That is drunk fun. Little kick in behind. Well taken by Blomekes. Looked like for a second they were considering taking it quickly. I think they're pressing the wrong button at the moment. Yeah, they were. They were putting up the lineups. But now Tuisova goes out wide to Vinaya Habossi. That's going to be the try. I'm not even sure what happened there. I think they were trying to show a replay of the kick in behind. And in doing so, actually missed the pass across the field. Now doing that drunk will be fun. Says Sakabula. And Sabre La Rochelle versus Leinster last week, 10 p.m. Says Jimbo. So yeah, pretty late kickoff. But we see it there. That was the mistake from, I believe it was Blomekes. He put it over the railing, thinking that that would take Racing 92 out of the equation for a quick throw. But Owen Farrell spotted it and went, no, we're going to take this one quickly, thanks. And it was the same ball because he kept a close eye on Blomekes and where he put that ball. So, yeah, great bit of work and great vision and wherewithal from Owen Farrell. Legaric does get the kick over. That'll make the score now 19 points to 10. Now that the chat has gone full alcoholic, we should probably mention drink responsibly, kids. But yeah, there it is. Clayton Blomekes put the ball down. Oh no, it's Lancaster, sorry. Farrell called for it. And then got ready to fire it out wide. And nicely done. Right, 2.5 minutes remaining now. Oh, it was overcooked. Well cleaned up by Diamani, but then he knocks the ball on and actually plays it on the ground as well. But the knock-on was first. I have a double Irish in front of me, Sebastian, but I'm responsible. Says Jimbo. Now 2 minutes left. Racing only need one more try to put them in the position of a bonus point. Which will be exactly what they're looking for. Yeah, the Stormers have to keep a close eye on their points differential here. If they want to find some way of getting in the top 4, if not top 5. Oh, well, must be a big bid, says Drape. Oh, okay, front row's being told to stand up again. Everyone scrummage on the mark is the call from the ref. It seems like Joseph Dweber will not continue in this game. We mentioned about him earlier on and whether or not he was going to be all right to come back out. But yeah, obviously failing that HIA, which I could have told you when he started stumbling when he got back up. That's normally a surefire sign that something's not quite working for them in terms of the equilibrium. Now 50 seconds remaining in this first half, and the last attacking chance of the half will go the way of the Stormers. Now, that one's going to be a free kick. Evan Ruiz going off the back. Scoreboard update. At the moment, 19 points to 10, only 5 metres out. That's going to be a knock-on, but they go back for the penalty. Double while the whistle and a yellow card coming for... Who's that? It is Diallo. He's got his hands up. He's saying, ref, it wasn't me. I'm the captain. It can't have been me. And he will now go off the field. He is going, I think I just saw him say, what's that about? So he's slightly confused, Diallo. We're going to see the replay. Yeah, so he slips over as he's trying to get round the side of the breakdown and just ruin the attacking flow by pretty much knocking the ball out. DSTV don't show the log, says Julian Moses. Well, luckily, I do. There we go. That's the way the table sits at the moment. So both of these sides need this win. Racing currently, if they were to win this game by the 9 points that they are leading by, halftime as well has just come around, by the way. But they would move up to 8 points. That would put them at the moment up to third, but Harlequins would take that spot back with the way that they are playing up against Glasgow currently. In that game at halftime, I believe it's 17-7, but they aren't quite at halftime yet. So yeah, Racing would move up, and then that would drop Sale and also the Stormers. If Racing win this game by 30 points, in fact 31 points, Stormers go to last. And if that is the case, then they have to rely on Sale losing badly to Toulon. And Sale are at home for that game. Toulon actually coming as the underdog for that matchup as well. We have got there, it's imagine you can always have some coffee with your Baileys. And right, 8 meters, getting high now. Says Drape. And cheers Jimbo, says Ruth. And there as well. But yeah, a pretty fast-paced first half. Neither side getting a huge amount of breaks other than when we saw injuries, which we saw quite a few of throughout that first half. We saw Joseph Dweber go down for the Stormers. We saw early on Mura, but he did continue. Toulon will squash Sale. Yeah, they've got a good chance of winning that game, that is for sure. Saying if you get a solar panel, you get a free TV. That's a bit of fun, isn't it? Hey, well, Stormers need to pick up the pace now, says Roof. And that's the thing, they actually did pretty well at times throughout that first half. 3 tries conceded will be a bit of one that they look at and go, it should have been better. But at the same time, they had some good moments. They just didn't really get it out the back line enough. And maybe that is that 19 combination. I don't want to sound harsh, but the Wald and Yuri just haven't really got that backline functioning as of yet. You've got guys like Ben Loden and Hudson Berg out on the wings. You just need to get it out there to them good. Let's knock them out them Northern Sharks. Could give a Tinker's Curse, or couldn't give a Tinker's Curse about them. Says Sebastian, good morning everyone. Says Simran, welcome in. I hope you are keeping well. Hopefully the weather is nice where you are. It was raining here overnight by the sounds of it. And not by the sounds of it as in I heard it, but by the sounds of it as I was told that it was raining overnight. And a little bit this morning. Second half, not a mile away. Anyone seen the strange red card given to the Bath prop earlier? I did not. Was it something to do with scrums, or was it just the case of how it ended up? Was it a high shot or something? Because the fact that it's strange makes me confused, so I have to see the replay of it at some point. I would think it's cloudy where I am. Says Simran, hopefully the sun does come out at some point. They always pee me off, the Stormers. They're like my favourite South African teams, the Sharks, God help me. Says Rape. And I like my Antigua Colombian coffee blend. Strong like my men. Just joking, no men. Says Ruth. But yeah, we all looked through at the benches. His second yellow was for turning in. So had he already had a scrum yellow card, or was it something else? Because, yeah, it's probably pretty unlucky to end up as that guy who gets the penalty against you and the yellow card if, you just sometimes get unlucky. So maybe he already had the yellow, I would assume. But these are the benches, ladies and gentlemen. Gogi Tashivili is there at number 17, who's got quite the name. Cameron Walkie going to make his way off the bench as well for Racing. He could be quite an impact player as we move through this game. And then also for the Stormers, we've already seen Andre Hugo Finta. He made his way onto the field for Joseph Dweba. Herschel Yankees off the bench, as well as Duplessis. There'll be a couple important subs, just because I don't want to sound critical, but I don't think this 19 combo has quite done what they really wanted it to at this stage of the match. But in terms of what is coming up for these two sides next week, like I mentioned earlier on, Leinster going head-to-head with the Stormers. That is going to be a tough game, definitely because it is in Ireland. And then Racing 92, they have a game up against Castra, and that is a must-win as well. Any home game is in the top 14. Yeah, they'll be wanting to make a bit of a statement. And there, he headbutted Jameson Gibson Park for the first yellow, says Jimbo. Right, so he got 2 different yellow cards, and then I guess ended up with the red in total. And Simran, you're here, darling. And also, how was the Bulls scrummaging today? Frenchies were stuck in reverse. Yeah, they did extremely well throughout the game, the Bulls, just to keep on forcing Stade Francais onto the back foot. It's always sunny when you're pissed to have a drink, Les, says Sebastian. As you mentioned, Sebastian is currently sipping on, what were you having, Seb? Coffee and some sort of alcohol chucked in there too, wasn't it? And Miss Simone, great you're here, says Roof there too. And Stormers need to come back with renewed energy in the second half. I must get 4 tries and win by at least 8, says Neville. And hi from Ireland, Hamish, Sharks supporter, thanks for the great commentary, says Craig. And we are going to be back tomorrow with the Sharks game, where they do go head-to-head with Bordeaux. That is going to be a tough one, that is for sure. And Neville, we are here. We here are all hoping, brother. And welcome from Cape Town. Time is 10:52. So yeah, a little bit of a late night game for you guys in South Africa. The games tomorrow, of course, will be taking place at a better hour. The next one that is happening will be at 3 p.m. South African time tomorrow, and that will be Bordeaux versus the Sharks. Brazilian rum. I put a bit of coffee in my rum. Okay, rather than the other way around. I hope second half Stormers come out firing, says Spider-Mech. Yeah, they almost have to. Like, they are down by the 9 points at the moment, but the biggest concern, I think, is the fact that they've already conceded 3 times in this match, and none of which have been crazy tries. You know, at the end of the day, a couple backline movements. It was a nice one on the other side of the field for Spring, how he did go with that chip and chase, but once again, there should have been really someone back there to be able to cover. Love Racing 92, says Jack there. Yeah, just showing there, Bristol versus Benetton from, I believe that was last week, as Benetton did recently play La Rochelle, actually having some success there. And then Bristol having a close game up against Clermont. It's such a fast-paced, crazy, interesting chat tonight, Hamish. Says Roof, Dan Carter play for Racing 92. He did way back in the day, yeah. And Allgood's brother just said, says Drape. Second half, I would say, is only around maybe 5 minutes away, somewhere around there. Should be thoroughly entertaining when the two sides make their way back out onto the field. Yeah, tomorrow we have got that Bordeaux Sharks game, and then maybe Toulouse Leicester. I haven't quite decided yet. I think it will depend a little bit in terms of if I can get any sort of rest before it, but I doubt I'll be able to, so I might be half asleep by that stage. Bordeaux wants to end above Toulouse, so they want to score T20 style, says Eric. Yeah, I think it's going to be a pretty high-scoring game between those two sides. The Sharks can give it, though, a little bit. You know, they might be able to score themselves an extra bonus point, maybe. That one's now going to be thrown in by... Oh, sorry, that was the Bristol Bears game. Every once in a while, they'll show highlights of another game, and I just start commentating it. It's actually happened quite a few times in the past. And Clermont won with the last play of the game. Unlucky Bears, says Jimbo. And how's the Sail GP going? I honestly would have no idea. I haven't really been much of a sailing fan. Like, I watched a bit of the America's Cup, but not a huge amount, unfortunately. Like, I'd watch it if it was there to watch, if that makes sense, but there's normally something else that I'm watching instead. We have got there. Don't forget to like the stream and subscribe to the channel. Cheers for being here, says Sebastian. Yeah, anyone who is new, of course, be sure to hit that subscribe button. It is greatly appreciated. You all being here for these matches. Franz Stein was a legend at Racing. Cheers, Eric. My red nose, I love rugby. He's always flipped when ABs get a try. And also we have got there. Don't forget. Oh, no, I read that one. And also Neville Lovely, good boys are sporty doggies, says Ruth. And Racing 92, what's up with their name? Racing to where? Yeah, I think it's also Racing Metro is another name that they are known by. But I want to say I can't think of another team that has numbers as their name. Or at least like the main thing that they're called anyway. Although a lot of people do call them Racing Metro. And Johan Goosen also played at Racing Metro. I think so, back in the day, didn't he? Like, they've had a lot of players in the past, Racing 92. Normally, you don't last more than 1 or 2 seasons there, but certain players do occasionally get that longer contract. But normally, a good indication of how long there is left of the halftime break is the highlights of the game that they're showing prior. Currently at 76 minutes through that Bristol versus Benetton game. So I would say we're getting pretty close to the second half starting. If we just have a quick look now, the half ended about 10 minutes ago, somewhere around there. So yeah, we won't be too far off the next half. But while we are at it, we might as well see some stats to do with this first half and see exactly how this game has been sitting. Just for anyone wondering about when the games are taking place as well, we're currently in the group stage, but the round of 16 is going to be taking place in April, so it is a long time until the teams make their way back out onto the field. Don't trust those Whangarei ones. Says Drape. Currently, the match stats. As we currently sit, we have seen 3 tries to the 1 in favour of the home team. We have seen on attack 175 metres gained by Racing 92, 276 by the Stormers, so 101 extra metres for the Stormers there. 8 clean breaks compared to 2 in favour of Racing, 18 to 14 and the defenders beaten in favour of Racing as well. Possession and territory pretty close to 50-50 as we currently sit. Stormers tackling at a 66% completion, whereas Racing is 72, so actually quite low for both of these teams throughout that first half. And the discipline, something to look at. 6 penalties against Racing 92, including a yellow card right at the end. April damn, when the cricket season kicks off here in England. Cricket during the day, rugby in the evening. I'll have my hands full. Cheers, Sebastian there. And Lad said, Obi, welcome in, mate. It is good to see you once again. And Mr. Pinklol says Drape there too. Nonetheless, very close for the second half of this contest. There have been a few key performers. Vinaya Habossi has got himself 2 tries, and the other try was scored by Max Spring. The lone try for the Stormers in this match scored by, it was Andre Hugo Fenta, the replacement for Joseph Dweber when he went off for his HIA, and he hasn't returned. So, yeah, not ideal for Joseph Dweber, and also not ideal for the Stormers. They probably needed Dweber next week for the game up against Leinster. Hamish, your vocabulary is great. You're a Shakespeare of commentary, says Ruth. And there as well. Just showing an ad for David Attenborough. How old is David Attenborough now? He's like 90-something, isn't he? He's been out and about with the animals for a long time. And who is a better winger, Habossi or Ravatamanda? Ooh. I do think Vinaya Habossi is slightly less consistent. Like in this game, he's had 2 chances out on the wing. He's just had to run them in, whereas Ravatamanda normally has to run over someone to get there. But I honestly think like they're both extremely talented, and if you have one on each wing, it would be a very happy day. But it is good to see you, Tim. Hopefully you are keeping well. Six Nations coming up. We might need to ask you for a favour for the old Six Nations, depending on what you are up to. Don't you have a link? Sadly not. We are watching through Sky Sport Now, which is the paid subscription service here in New Zealand. And we have got there closing in on the century for sure. Says Sebastian, and Andrew Mertens are also racing great. And Black Panther says Spider-Man, but Racing 92 will now just make their way out of the tunnel to get ready to go for another half of fast-paced rugby. They just need one more try, and they'll find themselves in a great position. Rugby Rockers tuning in, cooking up some great alcoholic drinks. It's just after this live stream. We could actually. To be fair, do you want to come on for a quick chat after this stream? As in, like, you want to have the negotiations live on stream or afterwards? It sounds like it's all official and that we're getting the checkbook out, but it might be a stream in the future if you can. Oh, a big shiner for Evan Ruiz. Got a massive black eye forming. In fact, that looks like more than a black eye. That looks like half of the cheek is also all swollen at the moment. Could that be something to do with a bone? Maybe a broken orbital? I'm not sure, but it looked pretty bad. Ball and booze. After the live stream is done, says Rugby Itch in there as well. Yeah, so I'll just invite you to the StreamYard or the stream, Tim, and then we can have the chat afterwards. Or you can pop on and have a chat about the end of this game if you really want to, if you've been watching it. Now 40 metres out from the line here. Stormers need to find their rhythm. And it looks like they made the early change of Du Plessis out there on the field. Now out wide, Ben Loader does well to stay in the field of play. Clayton Blumerke's wrestled out though by Joshua Tuisova. Negotiation on stream, there's a pro wrestling thing in it. Says Sebastian, and broken nose, says Obi. And Hamish and Timmy, what a team. Both have beards and mustaches. Yeah, like Tim's mustache, his beard is much more prominent than mine. I don't even think you call mine a beard at the moment. One day, maybe. Yeah, so Hudson Berg's actually the guy that they took off for Jean-Luc Du Plessis. Now Legaric on across to the left-hand side. And I'm so happy for Benetton. Says Kerr, yeah, big win for the Benetton boys. Oh, good charge down from Van Heeren. Now the Stormers have managed to steal possession just out from the line, or at least 22 metres. That's not too far, though. That shouldn't take them long to build through. They get a couple little breaks. And also, it's Hemi. It's been helping the poor get their rubber. Tim wouldn't be paying me in that case. Now, Salman Mura goes across now to the right-hand side. Skip past Matias, just dropped it cold. And okay, they were awesome, says Jimbo. And now are you, Hamish? I'm doing all right. The tiredness has kicked in a little bit just because of the random hour live streams, but it happens on the weekend. Where's Du Plessis, Amy? Is he on yet? He is indeed. Came on for Hudson-Berg. So that must have been injury-based, though, I think, because Hudson-Berg, he hasn't had an awful game, I wouldn't say. He's hardly touched the ball. Maybe that's just to add a little bit more of a playmaking option. A YouTuber's kicking up to Hamish like the Mafia Don. I feel like Tim could be a Mafia boss. He's got that, not the persona, but he's just got that quiet, he's got a chair that he can rotate on a stream is pretty much all I'm saying. Doing the rotate of the chair and going, we've been expecting you. And then, bap. Now, line out throw. Nicely taken by Shivad Ayamani. 37 minutes left. Stormers need to get this ball back in their hands. Legaric, little grubber attempted by Owen Farrell. Sorry, I was supposed to say how old are you? I am 25. So I don't know whether or not, I think I look 25. I think I look older than 25 at times. Normally on a late night live stream, I look about 37 by the end of it. But I'm young at heart. Not really, I'm quite old. Okay, that beard will grow, says Tomo. Yeah, it might. If not, we will just have to stick to the mustache. Now back across to the right again here. Little kick in behind, attempted from Duplessis. Well handled at the back. Oh, almost obstruction there between the Racing 92 players. It looks like Racing is going to get over the line. You really look your age. Shit. Like, as in like I look like an old 25, or I just do look 25. I think these up the top, I'm starting to get the railroad tracks or the highway on the forehead. That's not helping. Bags under the eyes there. Probably not helping either. He does 25. Says Tomo. So that means when I'm 26, I will look 26 and I won't get ID'd anymore. Because, I'll look older. That's a big shot. On 25 November the 29th, you look 25-ish. See here, Sebastian? I'll take it. Now, a couple more changes being made. That is going to be for Racing. Is that Talfa Fanua getting taken off? That's a big call at this stage of the match. Yeah, it is. I don't know whether that's an injury or not, but that's quite a surprise to see him make his way from the field. Hamish is a young stud, still in his prime. So here's Ruth. Cheers, Ruth. Now, Andre Hugo Fenta getting ready to throw this ball in. Hamish looks 22. I'm happy enough with that. Going off to the right-hand side. Sorry, left. Duplessis. High tackle advantage now. Please, no more lineouts. Come on, the Stormers pulled this one through. And it did. And this when the Storm should attack and pile on the points. They are lacking. Get 2 peas and a mash. Whoever scores first this half wins the match. Remove the facial hair, and I'll probably have to. You'll probably have to get ID'd to buy milk. I once got ID'd to buy a pie, and it was just a steak pie, no alcohol in it, but because it was in like it wasn't so much a pub, but it was like a pub restaurant doubling up kind of situation. And because they had no one at the bakery counter, I had to go to the main counter of like the pub. So they were like, you're going to have to give us your ID to buy a pie. So that was weird. Pie wasn't even that good. Let's go, boys. Someone needs to score, says Ruth. Ready to throw this ball in. Ruben van Heerden, loose ball. Cleaned up by Andre Hugo Fenta. Hey, Jimbo, you're a spring chicken. And yep, says Jimbo for being 58. Now going back across to Willi Engelbrecht. Oh, good power shown by Diamani. Try and hold him up alongside Faliti Kaitu'u. Now Ruben van Heerden. Ball is there again. Tia goes on the inside. Now Marcel Tennyson. Hey, the game is slow at the moment. Yeah, they're very much both playing. It's almost like they're both playing like they don't want to lose. Just in this little patch, they're just making sure they're getting those passes right. Although that has also caused quite a few passes to be wrong. Now going off to the left. No, it's Joshua Tuisova. He cuts back himself. And now gets the pass away. Good pressure from Racing to try and find that next gap. Are you sure it wasn't a pint? Love a bit of wordplay, Nelson. You've done well there. But no, it was literally just a pie. Like, yeah. Yeah, I haven't been ID'd to buy alcohol. But I've been ID'd to buy a pie, of all things. So yeah, just a fun little story. I think that was the only time I went there as well, just because I was like, well, I don't really want to have to get my ID out every time I want something from a bakery. And happy late birthday to you, Jimbo, said Spider Mick. And lovely, I always say I've hit that stop button at 30. I never moved past that age in my head, says Ruth. Stormers struggling. A couple end errors along the way. Okay, Taufifenua has got his knee strapped. That makes more sense of why they decided to take him off so early. Otherwise, I just don't think you would. I leave the cheap beer and try a beautiful brandy. Says Xander. But now, sitting about 23 metres out from the line, I have grandchildren Spider. But I'm young at heart, regularly beating the box. Keeping me young. And we're going to have a scrum reset. 48 minutes in. 3 tries for Racing. They need 1 more to get themselves that bonus point win, which currently would bump them up to probably about 3rd on the table, although they would probably go to 4th if the Quins can get the job done up against Glasgow. Mandayello about to make his way back out onto the field. That is after the 10 minutes that he was off. He will want to be a lot more disciplined for the rest of the game. Now, defeat this ball. And that's the thing, like they've just mentioned, 10 minutes without the captain of Racing, and the Stormers didn't get a single point. So, yeah, that will be a confidence booster. If they got the advantage, they do not at scrum time. Now, another big run forward from Duplessis. Oh, a nice charge down. Oh, bit of skill there. Keep the ball alive, although, is it going to pull up? It doesn't. Goal line dropout, nicely done by Legaric. Avoided a line out about 35 metres out and instead gets it to become a goal line dropout. But really good awareness to find that ball and then boot it back infield. And I'm 44 years old, but my friend is 8.5 inches old. Said live. Says Drape, alcohol is a poison and not for human consumption. Says Bruce, why the so slow wake up Stormers? Yeah, they need something soon. And I know that we've been repeating ourselves with that statement, but honestly, if they want a chance of winning, they can't concede the next try. Because if they do, they'll be in trouble. Vinaya Haborsi now. 2-man tackle on him by Similani, as well as Roach, the 2 midfielders. Legaric goes across to Farrell. Now Legaric again. That was obstruction. Should have probably been a penalty in favour of the Stormers. Oh, sorry, yeah, in favour of the Stormers, but it is play on for now. Farrell tries to flick it out the back door. Attacking run forward now in the middle of the park from Lancaster. Finds the offload up. This could be an absolute gift here for Racing if they can score now. Legaric goes off to Vinaya Haborsi. Everyone to their own path through this life roof. 5 metres out from the line. Pick and go. Oh, he's taken the gamble. And he thinks... Did he? Okay, ref said he has no idea whether or not that is a try. So it is going to be play on just for now, but then they will go back to look at it a little bit later. The ref said he doesn't believe that he made it. Diamani gets another offload away. Now Farrell. Kicking it further forward. Clayton Blumekis. I hate Winesis. Says Drape. Back inside of their 22 here. Farrell has an acre of time. Puts it into touch. Doesn't look hugely happy with it. It'll be about 43 metres out. There. Stormers now have got themselves the line out. This game is still for the taking. Either of these teams have got a good chance. Oh, just short of the line when he went for the grounding and then does knock it on. Showing it again from a different angle now. Tell you what, no try was the call, but from that other angle, okay, it's no try. Roach is going to be a Springbok one day, says Ross. Happy belated birthday, Jimbo. Love and respect. And also we have got there, happy birthday, Jimbo, says Ruth. Line out throw for Andre. Hugo Fanta goes to the back. Diamani tries to grab it, but does knock it on in the process. Big shot coming in on the young 9. who now looks like he has not returned to his feet as of yet. Simalani asking for the high shot. Ref doesn't give it. 9 is still down, so we might see Herschel Yankees relatively soon here. When I turn 25, I'll hang up my spider suit and become normal to my family. Or become normal to have a family, sorry, says Spider Mick. But probably what I said as well. A kick downfield. And 50-22 was on for half a second. Good clearing kick. They're going to keep this ball alive here, Racing 92, as they are aware they're playing up against 14 men while the halfback is staying down. He is still limping his way back on side. Does not look flash at the moment. Chance on the short side. Bit of a cross kick from Racing Blommetjies. He will now kick this one downfield. No one really getting the better of their opposition just right now. That's a decent kick in behind. Playing a bit of territory now for Racing. I think we will see Herschel Yankees make his way onto the field very soon. Oh, in fact, it's Racing 92 who are going to be making the subs. Oh, it's the no-arms tackle from Farrell, as always. And now they're going to take him off. That is a smart move before the TMO get involved in that one. So Gibbet, I should say, makes his way on. Come on the Stormers, says Caro. And get an old bow, Jim. I started wearing an earring at 25. It's not a guarantee of more maturity. We got the eggplant there for Kerr, who, of course, we know exactly who he's talking about. And when the Springboks play again, they play in July. It's when they have consistent games. They might have a warm-up game in June, but yeah, it's a long way away. That's a nice pass across field here for Racing 92 to the halfway line. Ball's there again. Legaric is across now. The ball in mind. A nice take from Clayton Blommetjies to be able to call the mark. Now takes the tap. Kicks that one just about into touch, but he doesn't manage to find the sideline. Racing 92 now going to be running this one back with a Vanaya Borsi. Manages to spin through two. Ball on the inside. It's actually the big prop. Ball one more to Legaric, who spins around, gets the offload away as well. And they're 15 metres out now. Legaric going back across, cross kick, attempted beautifully done by Racing, and they will get the bonus point try. And that is very well done. The double for Max Spring. So both wingers actually scoring 2 tries apiece at the moment. I've had one in for 43 years. It's a guarantee of no maturity, says Jimbo. And happy birthday, Jimbo. I too have grandkids, 4 of them. The best thing about grandkids is saying to their parents, here, take them. Says Neville. But just that skill of Legaric. He's certainly up there for man of the match. I know there's 2 men who have scored 2 tries, but Legaric has been everywhere in this game for Racing. Still 24 minutes remaining. The difference at the moment is 14. French Flair, good try. Says Eric. And the Garrick has missed that one away to the side. It's going to keep the score at 24 points to 10 as we currently sit. The Stormers, the only real way, well, I mean, of course, winning this game would give them 4 points. So they need to get back 2 tries here in the very near future. And so is Stephen Perez-Martin, I think, actually running drinks for Racing. That's a bit of a surprise, seeing as the French are going to be in action next week for the Sevens. Going to be in Perth as well. Surely that wasn't Stephen Perez-Martin then, unless he's not going to Perth. And that try is good by Stormers. And now Diamani down the wing gets a pass on the inside. Ruben van Heeren off the field for JD Schikkeling. They will find you, Spider. We have good there. I don't have earrings because I was scared to have my ears pierced. Needles, oh no, says Ruth. Was going to be put into Dutch Racing, considered taking it quickly. Tristan Tedder deciding against it in the end. Man, the Stormers team, like every other Stormers team, no matter what comp or year, they are truly horrible, just like my Sharks and Owen Farrell's still playing too. So here's Rape. They're just showing some of the highlights of Legeric throughout this game. And the game, which you are amazing from South Africa, says Corinne. And we are going to be back tomorrow with another game. There's the one between Bordeaux and the Sharks, so be sure to tune in for that one as well. Nicely taken by Roach. 22 minutes left now. Time is starting to sneak away from the Stormers team. If they don't win this game and they aren't within 7, they will sit more than likely at the end of this round either 5th or 6th. 4 if they're very lucky. But 5th would mean they're playing in the Challenge Cup. 6th would mean they're playing in no cup. And go the Stormers, what's going on tonight? Robert, how have you been, bro? Says Spider Mick. No. Let's work from Mattia. Get their momentum going, and he is through the gap. He's got Yankees on the inside. Great link-up play, and the immediate impact for Herschel Yankees, who already has scored since making his way onto the field. That is exactly what the Stormers needed. They needed a way back into this game, and that is exactly what they've done. And just setting it up well. Great ball from Mattia initially. And then he gets the quick ball from Yankees, which puts him through the gap. Those two were just playing their own game. All right, Robert, hope you're well. Says Sebastian there. It's another big yawn. They're coming thick and fast today. And great, they're getting murdered by Johnny Neckweek. Says Drape. Oh, from Geordie. I think I said Johnny, didn't I? Good try by Yankees. Says Eric, and yeah, gets them back into it. 24 points to 17 now. The score. And there are still 20 minutes remaining in this match. Could go either way. Abu, 20 years later. Like they're saying, going to be a very interesting finish to this game. Kicked off by Lancaster. Feliti Kaitu'u. He's taken off, and that is for Escobar. I've been at the hospital, dropped off my mum. Does bronchitis and colder. Doesn't go away, says Robert. So, yeah, hopefully your mum does feel a little bit better. But everything's good, says Robert. So that is good to hear. Racing, that looked like a knock-on. Yes, it was on Stormers. Now we've got themselves the scrum. Not many girls on this Chan. Do I can asked out? A good way to hook up, is it? But then the problem with doing it through a live chat, Spider-Mech, is you don't know whether or not the one who's got a female name is actually just a bloke. You know? Got to be careful with that. Speedy recovery to your mum, Robert. All the best wishes. And game can go either way if the Stormers can stay strong, says Barry. But now, Stormers again with the scrum feed. Online dating can be dangerous, says Barry. Yeah, you got to make sure you at least, like, at some stage have, like, a video chat or something. Just so that you slightly know who you're dealing with. You know, Duplessis. Across to Blomekes, who's looking for a 50-22. Positioning from Tristan Tedder at the back and better up your game, Spider. We do have a Chloe on here you might like, says Jimbo. Yeah, we don't actually like, that's the thing, Chloe could be a man. You know, you just don't know. Is that why you don't have OnlyFans? says Robert. Why, I don't have one. Have you told your family yet that you'd rather commentate Six Nations than attend the wedding? Attending the wedding will accept many more people, says Bruce. Oh, I mean, it's just unfortunate timing, isn't it, for the Six Nations opening round? But we'll deal with it. Chloe only has eyes for Hamish, says Kerr. It might not be Tamala. It could be Tamartha. And we have got there's a lot of scammers out there. When you watch these TV shows about it, it's crazy, says Barry. We will go like this and like that. A moment. There we go. But our chance here for the Scrumley Garrick. We'll have to feed. It's better for me to stop swinging and start looking before time running out, says Spider-Mick. And Chloe put up a 12-foot fence for me last week. And Chloe's so adorable, and she has eyes for our Hamish, says Ruth. Now passing on the outside. Chance here. Oh, good seller. The dummy now gets a pass away, but it is forward. So I'd rather ask for girls' number in public. That's what I do, says Barry. How does that go, Barry? Is it successful? Surely you don't just, you talk to them first, right? Rather than just going, hey, I'd like your number, please. They go, who are you? And you go, well, I'm bloody Barry Green, you should know who I am. And then they slap you and leave. Now going into touch here, good kick from the Stormers. This is a bad position to be on the field if you're racing. Chloe, nice name, but is she or he? Very hard to say. Hey, girls and ladies, call 911 emergency. Now you got to flip them over to check them out. Make sure, says Robert V. Thrown in by Andre Hugo, fender but stolen by Racing 92, Legeric. Looking for the kick. Oh, he's really rushed that one. He ended up with a pretty decent clearance, with all things considered. Lots of time. I met my wife when I was 30. And now down the wing, Tennyson in for the corner. The Stormers are back in it again, ladies and gents. Swinging. What are you, a kid or on a swing? Guys or women out in the public setting and get to know him first, says Drape. Should Cheetahs join Super Rugby big man, says Kentucky Fried Chicken. It would be interesting. I feel like they'd fit in quite nicely into Super Rugby, but it's whether or not, whether travel and everything along those lines does play factor in the decision. But, I'd be happy enough to see them. I feel like they're a little bit wasted just playing in the Curry Cup. And also, of course, Challenge Cup at the moment. And, well, Hamish, have you done it before, says Barry? No, I don't make a very often attempt at it, really. I just sit at home. Just do YouTube. Bit of work. That's about it. Don't get much of a chance to go out and about. Now 15 minutes remaining. Well, Stormers coming back, says Andy. Yeah, there's a big difference between courting and stalking. Magistrate pointed that out to me, says Bruce. Is what chandeliers are for, Ruth. And swinging from chandeliers like I'm not sure who that is, if I'm honest. It's probably a bad reference, is it, Seb, or is it all right? Now inside of the 22, that kick missed as well, I should mention. So the score is 24-22. Joseph has made his way onto the field. And that is for Diamani. Now Jalabert, nice run forward. Passing on the outside, finds the hands of Anaya Haborsi, who really runs hard at the line, but that was almost stolen by the Stormers. It's easier said than done. I don't have good riz. I just can't talk. I can talk to, it sounds funny to say, but I can talk to people on a Saturday at cricket, but in any other setting, I just can't, which sounds weird because we're literally talking now. Hamish always treading on thin ice with this chat. I'm pleased to see Exeter Chiefs getting pumped again, says Johnny. Yeah, they've been struggling at the moment. The old Exeter Chiefs. Oh, what even happened there? It looked like the Stormers player on the ground actually threw that up into the hands of Racing. This conversation can only go two ways. Says Robert. Another knock on, and this time it is going to be the scrum feed. In favour of the Stormers. Late night streams can't beat them, says Seb. That reminds me, I am going to, while we've got another stoppage for another scrum, I'm going to send the link to Tim. Did he miss the kick, the Stormers? He did indeed, yes. I got a random email about exclusive funding opportunity. You better get on that. I am writing to Tim, though. I'm not replying to that email. There we go. Boom. And Ulster were awesome last night. The Pack won the game by themselves. Yes, definitely, Robert. Left to right, chandelier swinging is dangerous. Love these chats. There's Ruth there too, but we have got 13 minutes left now between these two sides. This is pretty much for a guaranteed spot in the round of 16. Whoever misses out has to sit eagerly awaiting whether or not they still make it. Racing at the moment would get 5 points. If they were to lose this game, they'd still get at least one. Another poor kick. Assad kicking up to the Don. Are you a hidden talker? You feel more at home with one person to talk to than a group? Am I right, Hamish? Probably. Like, I also just don't know what to talk to people about other than cricket. Like, that's pretty good for a Saturday. I can talk about cricket for a long time. Rugby, can have a chat. But then when we're talking about, you know, what they're doing at work and whatnot, I'm like, well, I don't know what to say here. So I'll just sit and drink my water. And Jesus slipped over or shipped over 130 points in 6 games. That is a huge amount. Another penalty going the way of the Stormers here. Did you see the SA20 cricket? I did not know. They don't really show it here in New Zealand, unfortunately. Now, Similani. Oh, they're actually going to take on the shot at the post here. Is this the right decision? I honestly don't think it is. Like, one more try gets them the bonus point. And that means worst comes to worst, they get 2 points, right? But, like, that would book them the spot. Maybe in the challenge, I guess. Oh, I don't know. I feel like I would have liked to see a corner, but then saying that, they haven't really scored too much from the corner so far. Jarut proven he's a decent T20 player. And just as I quietly suspected, kick is missed from Yuri Matia, which now means Racing still lead. And Johnny, their tackle rate is worse than in any touch rugby team. And there are some New Zealand players in those teams. Says Barry, there are indeed Trent Bolt over there at the moment. But yeah, they just don't show it, unfortunately, here in New Zealand. Dan Lancaster making his way from the field. Another change. Shovin C will make his way on. Now kick downfield. Wonder if the Stormers would try another 3 or whether they would be happy enough just taking that risk of going for the corner. Now, Herschel Youngkies goes to the right-hand side. Is Bolt really done for good with Test cricket? It seems like it, yeah. I think he's moved on from the long format. Ugh, ugly landing there. But it's still there for Racing. I think corner would be better. Stormers putting up a good fight to win a 15th or 16th spot in the European Champions Cup to go play a match against Toulouse or Bordeaux in France. Yeah, it's not exactly an easy road, is it? If they do make their way through, but they'll enjoy the challenge. They can get the job done. Going to be knocked backwards. Oh, a little bit of a fumble there from Similani. And such a shame, he's an amazing talent. Here's Sebastian. Oh, another knock on. Racing take it back. Grub it in behind. Is that ball? No, it just never quite set up. It almost looked like it should have, but it just kept on rolling along, Johnny. My mad guess. They're watching Stuart Hogg TikToks and having nightmares. And Stormers 25-24. Says Julian Moses. That is the score that it would have been if they had got that last kick over. Just jumped in. It seems like it's a tight match, says Sakili. Yeah, it could easily go either way between these two sides. If the EPL had relegation this year, that'd be faves for the drop. Crazy when you think Baxter was linked to the England job after Jones. Says Johnny. Now going off to the right-hand side again for Evan Russ. Now here's your Yankees. He's been told to use it. 8 minutes remaining on the clock now. One does go into touch yet again. Trent is a good player, shame. Here's Roof with the EPL. Oh no, I read that one, didn't I? Now Racing 92. They just have to play this one strategically. Diego Escobar. They've got 8 minutes. One more try would win them this game if it is converted, I would say. But they have to get there first. Nicely claimed by Cameron Walkie, a pretty handy player to have coming off your bench in this match. Garrick, oh, big gap opening up. Oh, he's just flattened the fullback. In fact, it was Ben Loader. Took the hard shot. Place kicking is so ultra important, hence my hatred for money. And Julian, please warn us before sharing the score. Says Nigel. No, that's his score prediction. Rather than the ends, like that's his prediction for the end. Things are quiet in the Quins game. Is it still 17-7, Seb, or has the score changed a little bit? And the Black Stormers kit is a curse because we never win. And it's been going like that for years, says Barry. I've never liked 2020. I'm the purest cricket fan. Love 5 days test and 1 day games. Great for the kids. And it was a great excuse to do nothing but watch sport. Australia head to Sri Lanka soon, don't they? And that's a little bit of test match cricket that we do get to see. Racing will only be about maybe 7 metres out from the line here. Evan Russ. Like he had a little bit of an injury, but he will continue to play. Oh, stolen by the Stormers. That is such an important steal, but then the knock-on come from Herschel Yankees, and it's now going to be the scrum anyway. Scottish Jimbo, the mention of Hogg after his reputation self-destruction leaves a lot of us Scots deeply depressed by his BS, says Johnny. Absolutely right. Long live Test cricket, says Sebastian. That's the thing. I've considered, I don't know how I would do it. It would be quite tricky to organise, but we do only play, like the cricket that we do, we only get to play 40 overs and 20 overs. And I've considered trying to organise, like outside of the regular cricket season, like a Kiwi Lads test match. Where it's like, even if it's a 2-day test, I know it's a bit short, but like, or 2 weekends in a row that you play for 2 days. Like just something. But to be able to do that, you need like 20, probably 26 players. Somewhere along those lines. But it would be pretty awesome to be able to play a long form game of cricket. Now around the side leg, Eric. Trying his best to get through. Still waiting patiently for the MotoGP, says Bruce. And we have got that happens, Johnny. Our retirement as a young man can be a tricky hurdle. Still 5 metres out from the line for Racing 92. On the side again. Nice pick and drive attempted. For Racing, still 5 minutes left. Ooh, a little bit closer. 3 metres out. They have got pure numbers on this left-hand side. If they go that way, they will score. Unless someone drops the ball. But I think they have to shift it. They're trying just out from the line. Cameron and Walkie trying to flatten over the line. I think they're going to get held up if they keep on going around the side like this. I think they do need to shift it. Any chance to stream the World Test Championship final between the South Africans and Aussies? When is it taking place, Seb? Oh, they have got the penalty now, Racing. They will go back for that advantage. Because if it doesn't overlap with anything, I think it's worth a crack. Like, at the end of the day, we haven't done much cricket and I've missed it big time. Like, I've been watching cricket. I just haven't been able to talk about it. We have got there, Hogg has been average for years. It was fantastic and it went to his head. Came an arrogant fella, good riddance, starting 11th of June. Okay, so that should be hopefully doable. I assume that's around the same time as the Super Rugby finals and whatnot, but like with it being around the finals, it means there'll be less games, there'll be playoffs. But yeah, we'll hopefully be able to do it. If it's not on this one, it will be on the sport anyway. That channel's been fully abandoned, hasn't it? The tap and go now from Racing 92, rather than take in the 3 to get ahead. Oh, it's on the line. That was down. That is on the line. The ref is still blowing his whistle, but he's looking straight at a grounding there. Can the Stormers still win? I was just trying to summon Kerr, Johnny. And also, yeah, we've got there. Come on, Storm, turnover, please. The Stormers still win. That depends on whether this is a try, but I think this is a very good shot of being one, which would then take the Stormers out of this game. Okay, if it's no try, they'll go back for the penalty for offside. Hogg stopped playing great rugby pretty much when he left Glasgow, actually. There's Kerr. Yeah, and that was a little while ago, wasn't it? Was it Glasgow then Exeter, or was there a team in between for Hogg? Right, we're going to see it now. I believe he gets the grounding there. Yeah, that's a good try. And that is going to be more than likely the game now. 3.5 minutes left. Not a huge amount of time to work with here. Okay, they've said that they can award the try. Quick call is given. And Racing 92, they will be very happy with that. Now it's at 29 points to 21. They've still got the kick to come and they can use up the full minute available. And Russell did similar, but he seems to have pulled himself back to reality. Hogg went from Glasgow to Exeter. So here's Johnny, another try for the Quins. Here's Kerr. Okay, so yeah, we'll be getting close to the end of that game, won't we? Maybe. Does Stormers need a bonus point at least? A bonus point would help a little bit for the Stormers, just because if you look at Sale, right? So Racing will go into the top 4. That'll put Sale down to 6th and the Stormers down to 5. So Sale Sharks will have to beat Toulon to get back up, just with their points differential. Currently, with this kick, if it goes over, which it should, it's straight out in front, it means that the Stormers are no longer getting a bonus point. And maybe that was because they didn't go for the corner earlier on. We have got there James Anderson, Broad. They were invincible in the Ashes series. Yeah, it's going to be an interesting Ashes series this year. In fact, is it? It is this year, isn't it? The Ashes. We're going to go here. And we're going to go like that. When does that take place? Is that after? Yeah, that's in the late stages, November to January. We might be able to cover some of that. 50-22 for Racing now. Oh, and a bit of cramp for Legatic. In the process, they will do well to take any points against Toulon. But they come in as favourites, which really surprised me. They were about $2.60 underdogs, Toulon, for that game. So I don't know whether or not they've sent like a poorer side. And yeah, Legatic celebrating that one while on one leg, trying to avoid getting cramp. Still time for Racing to actually get another try here, if they're quick. Another try now would actually give them a 14-point lead. With still a kick to come, Racing grew Sexton and Russell to new heights. Says Jimbo. Always Racing's scrummy is excellent upon 2.0. Legatic is a very good option for the French, and he's had some good moments in an international kit in the past. Not many, because of, Dupont always does get that nod. But 90 seconds left, and Racing again can try and get this one moving forward. Breaks off the back. Oh, the voice is also breaking by the sounds of it. They're being told to get out of it. Now going infield again for Racing. Can the Stormers hold on, or will we see another try in the final moments of this game? Now pick and go from the captain, Diallo. Only silverware Russell has won was with Glasgow. I'd argue he'd have grown more staying at Glasgow. Unfortunately, seems to be perception Glasgow are a second-tier team, which they certainly are not. I mean, some of the action that they've shown, or some of the games that they've had throughout the last couple of years, and the consistency that they've also been able to build. Oh, it's going to be stolen nicely by the Stormers. Could still try and work for a bonus point here. Herschel Yankees goes across to the right-hand side. Evan Ruiz, he will back himself, but he's been chopped down in a fantastic tackle. Almost stolen by Vinaya Habosi. Money talks, though, and it's a big issue for Scotland rugby. Says Kerr. Now they're talking about whether or not they'll go for kicking the ball away, but they certainly will not. They need a try. Legaric stealing it again for Racing 92. And last attacking chance here. Going to offload it back. Risky play. Stormers kick it forward. Slipping over Roach. Oh, I think he was taken off the ball there. Will they kick it into touch? It looks like they will. Yes, they do. Racing, and that will end the game. Yes, it does. And that will be a win for Racing. 31 points to 22. The Stormers were close. They were competitive. Couldn't get the job done in the end. And now they have to wait. They are currently sitting in 5th. They don't receive a bonus point. Sale will need 1 point from their game to finish 5th and go on to the Challenge Cup. And that would mean that there would be only one South African side of the Champions Cup going through at this point to the Challenge Cup competition. No South African sides have qualified as of yet for Champions Cup. But tomorrow, perhaps, we see the Sharks be the very first. But nonetheless, I do thank you all very much for tuning in. If you did enjoy, of course, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. It is greatly appreciated you all being here for this game. Evan Ruiz, he's really going to get that eye checked out after this game. Kind of looks like a broken orbital. The way that it is swollen up does look pretty damaged indeed. But nonetheless, I do thank you all very much for being here. If you did enjoy, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. We're back tomorrow for Bordeaux versus the Sharks at 3 p.m. South African time, so be sure to check that out as well. But nonetheless, thank you all very much for being here, and I will see you all for the next one.